Hi, I'm Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining us for a 60-minute spine strengthening class. So we're going to start out in Malasana, child's pose. So come onto the shins, bring the knees wide and the big toes to touch. Start to walk the arms forward and rest the forehead down on the mat. And spread the fingers wide and just take a couple little steps with the hands to elongate the arms, and then start to press the hips down toward the heels as we sink into our pose. Connect with the breath here, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Start to fill up the belly and let the belly fall between the legs as we inhale. And then as we exhale, draw the belly button back toward the spine, pushing out all the extra air at the bottom of the exhale. So as the hips sink back toward the heels, start to connect with the low back, finding a gentle release in the low back. And as the forehead becomes soft on the floor, start to connect with the upper back, softening through the shoulders, releasing through the cervical spine. Just finding a little extra space between each vertebra. And continue to deepen the breath. More length out of each inhale, more length out of each exhale. These final breaths here start to set an intention for our practice. If the arms are active and outstretched, go ahead and relax the elbows down toward the floor and start to bring the hands a little bit closer to the crown of the head. And just softening a little more into upper back and shoulders. Last 3 breaths here. Soften through the jaw, soften through the forehead. Last breath here. Once again, extend the arms long, really active, and then press up into a tabletop position. Finding the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Draw the belly button back toward the spine. Get firm in the core, reaching the crown of the head forward toward the front of the mat. Tops of the feet are flat to the floor. Let's start to take some cat-cows. So as we inhale, we release the belly down toward the floor, lifting through the tailbone and the crown of the head. And then as we exhale, we round the upper back, lifting and separating the shoulder blades, drawing the tailbone down toward the floor, looking toward navel center. Inhale. And exhale and round. So take your time here working with the breath. This is a great release for the entire spine. These 2 postures are wonderful to practice every single day to keep the spine nice and loose, nice and flexible. Continue to move at your pace. Really tapping into the breath, linking it to the movement, getting into the body, letting everything else go. Just noticing the sensations along the length of the spine. And take 3 more cat-cows. Last one each. Come back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to hold a static spinal balance. So grounding down through the right knee and the left hand. Let's extend that right arm forward, left leg back. Hold here. Bring bicep as close to the right ear as possible and drop left hip down so it's in line with the right hip. And really engage through the core and bring all your awareness to the strength along the back body. So really extended long through the neck, nice and active through the shoulders. Engaging through low back as we hold that left leg long and steady. Last inhale, exhale, release, and we'll switch sides. Extending long through the left arm and the right leg. Draw left bicep as close to left ear as possible. Right hip comes in line with the left hip. Extending long through the crown of the head so the gaze is right down at the mat. Nice long neck, strong shoulders. Notice lower back, engaged, holding up that right leg. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Left hand, right knee to the mat. We're going to bring that right leg up so it's at 90 degrees, and we're going to do some hip rolls. So start to bring that right leg, right knee way off to the side, and then it's going to come in line with the left and then straight back up. Big hip rolls. Nice release for low back. Starting to warm up through the glute and the hip. Last two. Last one. Come all the way back up. Extend that right leg off to the side. And then take that right heel right in line with the right toe. Tuck the left toes under, left hip to left heel. Walk the hands forward. A nice stretch through the right inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale here. And come all the way back up. Take that left leg, bring it up to 90 degrees, and then start to make big circles with the left leg. Left knee will come back in line with the right knee, and then we'll go straight up and around. Two more. Last one. And then we're going to extend that left leg off to the left. Place the left heel right behind the left toes. Tuck the right toes under. Right hip to right heel. Walk the hands forward. Release the forehead down toward the mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back to tabletop. I'm going to take one twist from table position. So keep those hips right over the knees. Take the left hand right underneath the face. And then inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, slide that right arm behind the left, coming into thread the needle. Place the right shoulder and right ear on the floor, but keep the hips lifted. You can press into that left hand, maybe taking the gaze up. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, release right hand to the mat. And then switch sides. So take that right hand right underneath the face, and then inhale the left arm up, and exhale, left arm behind right, left ear and left shoulder to the mat, and press into that right grounded hand. Inhale. Exhale. Unwind, reach all the way up, and then release. From here, we'll tuck the toes under, come into downward facing dog. Heels releasing down toward the mat. The gaze is back at the toes, so we're releasing any tension we have in the neck. We should be able to wobble the head in circles, side to side. You can find movement here in the legs. Pedaling the feet, lifting one heel at a time. Really active through the finger pads. Continue with deep Ujjayi breathing. Three more breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, and keep the gaze back at the feet and start to walk the hands back toward the feet. If this means that the knees bend on the way, that's absolutely fine. We do not need to have straight legs. Let's start to bend the knees deeply. Rest the torso on top of the thighs. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. So another great spinal release, focusing on the spine versus the hamstring. So hamstring should be nice and soft, knees are as bent as needed, head is dangling, and the weight of the arms is just naturally tractioning the spine. So we should feel no tension in the neck. If shoulders feel like they're hunched up, try to release them gently toward the mat. And again, you can find movement here in ragdoll, swaying side to side. And let's make our way back to center if we're swaying side to side. Release the hands down toward the floor. And then we're going to work the legs towards straight. So again, if this means walking the hands up onto blocks, shins, or thighs, we want to find a flat spine. So we're coming into Ardha Uttanasana, monkey pose. So again, hands are on thighs for support, shins or blocks, or we can reach the fingertips toward the floor. Just gently draw the shoulders away from the ears. So working on some hamstring length, but also start to feel some strength building in the spine, holding our torso nice and long. One more inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. So focusing more on hamstring length here. It's okay if the legs aren't quite straight, but now we're actively working the legs towards straight. One more breath. On the next inhale, come back to a halfway lift. And this time with straight or softly bent knees, we're going to start to work the hands off the floor or the legs and start to extend them off to the side. So really reaching through the fingertips, working on spinal strength here. And again, not a lot of extra strain in the hamstrings. So if we need to bend the knees, that's perfectly fine. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk the hands forward, coming back to plank pose. Hold here in plank. Feet are in line with the hips. We're pressing back through the heels. Head is in line with the spine, so the gaze is at the floor right in front of the fingertips. Really active in the core here. This is not just about the arms. This is about the whole torso. Inhale. Exhale, shift forward onto the toes, elbows stay in, come all the way down. Forehead releases toward the floor, elbows stay in, tops of the feet are flat to the floor. On the inhale, peel the chest off the floor for cobra pose. And we're just gonna flow with the breath here. So exhale, release, forehead taps to the floor. Continue to work with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. So at your own pace, as we tap into the breath, with the movement, see if we can get a little bit deeper into the pose every time. Just building flexibility in the spine as well as strength. Just begin to notice all the muscles along the length of the spine working to pull us up into Bhujangasana cobra pose. Utilize the breath for 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Roll up. And release. Press back to child's pose. And just observe the difference between your first child's pose and this child's pose. I feel the muscles along my spine nice and warm. My hips a little bit softer. Just notice the difference in your own body. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. On the next inhale, take the right leg high, bring knee to nose, and step through. So we're in a strong low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent pose. Position the shoulders right over the hips. So if we're leaning too far forward or too far back, make any adjustments. Fingers are nice and active, pinky fingers roll in. Draw those shoulders away from the ears, get nice and low in the front leg. 2 more breaths. Okay, so we're gonna stand strong in the legs. Try to keep this nice position with 90 degrees in that front leg, and then we're gonna start to move the arms. So we're gonna bring that left arm forward, right arm back for a twist. Keep the shoulders right over the hips. And then inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, we're gonna cactus the arms, dip the knee down. So nice and strong cactus arms all the way back up. And now airplane torso. So sweep forward, 45 in the torso, reaching through the arms. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, vertical twist, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, up. Exhale, cactus arms, dip the knee down. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, airplane torso. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the earth, low lunge. Step back to plank pose, and then first chaturanga. Shift forward, lower halfway down, elbows stay in. Inhale, open up to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Rise up. Find a strong crescent lunge first. So as we get low in that front leg, and we work towards straighten the back leg, energetically squeeze the inner thighs in toward midline. Draw that left hip back so it's in line with the right hip. Hold here. So keeping this position in the legs, inhale. Exhale, vertical twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Arms back through center. Cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. Get really strong in the upper back. Inhale. Exhale, airplane torso. So 45 in the torso. Squeeze the triceps as we reach back toward the back heel. Head stays in line with the spine. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, vertical twist. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. Tops of the feet flat to the floor. Bring the arms alongside the body. Tops of the hands face down, so palms face up. Feet are in line with the hips. On the inhale, press into the backs of the hands and lift the chest off the floor. So press, press, press down through the feet, down through the hands, shoulders drawing away from the ears. Now start to activate the triceps and lift the hands off the floor. Squeeze and press back toward the heels. Now activate the quads and lift the feet. Now, as much as possible, soften through the glutes and then use the spine to lift and hold. Last breath here. And exhale, release. Left ear to the mat and rest. So find the calm and the softness in the breath between the postures. Just become really present and aware in the body. Just observe what's happening. So draw the chin back onto the mat. And this time we're gonna flip the palms so they face down. Squeeze the feet together, so big toes and heels are touching. And then once again, peel the chest off the floor. Lift the hands off the floor. Lift the feet off the floor. Good. Squeeze. And then we're gonna start to reach the arms off to the side and spread the legs just a little bit wider than mat distance apart. Palms face down. Good. And then sweep it back. And open. Squeeze. Again. And for the last three, bring the arms all the way forward, all the way back. 3, 2, 1. Rest opposite ear to the mat. Get soft and calm in the breath. Close the eyes. Feel the heart beating. Try to stay present in the body and the breath. And then from here, bring the chin back to the mat and press back to child's pose. It's a nice counter pose for those spine strengtheners. One more breath here. And back to downward facing dog. So adding on with our standing series, let's take the right leg high, step through low lunge, crescent on the inhale, vertical twist on the exhale, left arm forward, back to crescent on the inhale, cactus on the exhale. Inhale back to crescent, airplane torso on the exhale. Inhale back to crescent. This time on exhale, full airplane, we're gonna step onto that right leg, sweep the arms back, 2 hips in one line. Squeeze the triceps, reach back toward the heel, keep the chest lifted, gazes forward. And just one time, inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, step back, airplane lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, and hold here. So find a nice side body opening, expanding through the ribs. Gaze can be down at the back foot or up, whatever's comfortable on the neck. Very little weight in this back hand. Really engage through the core so we're not collapsing through the side. We're building flexibility in the spine. Exhale, low lunge. Step back, plank pose, inhale. Lower chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. To the other side, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, vertical twist, right arm forward. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, cactus. Crescent, inhale. Exhale, airplane torso. Inhale, crescent. And this time, exhale, full airplane. Hold here. Balancing on that left foot. Right hip in line with left. Fingers reaching toward the heel. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Nice extension, crown of the head through the tailbone. One long line. And just one time. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Full warrior 3. Exhale, airplane lunge, step back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, and hold. Slide that right hand down the back leg. Really low in the left lunge, the lunge of the left leg. And then be mindful that the left knee isn't sickling in. So draw it toward the left pinky toe. Really focus on the space in the left side of the body. And keep the core nice and engaged so we're not collapsing through the right side of the body. A nice side bend here. And low lunge. Step back, inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, extend that right arm forward. Palm faces down, and then bend the left leg. Take the foot from the outside. For half bow pose, draw the knees towards each other, and on the inhale, lift everything off the floor. Continue to draw the knees towards one another. Press back through the ball of the right foot. Reach through the right fingertips. Steady through the breath. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Bring both hands to the floor, left ear to the mat. Soften through the breath. Draw the chin back to the mat. Extend the left arm forward. Bend the right leg, take the foot from the outside. On the inhale, lift everything off the floor. Reach from fingertips back through toes. Squeeze knees towards one another. Keep that chest lifted, head in line with the spine. Steady through the breath. This is our last inhale. Exhale, release. Opposite ear to the mat. Release through the breath. And press back to child's pose. Nice counter pose for our spine strengtheners. And back to down dog. Work back into our Ujjayi breath if we've lost it. Coming back to our standing series of poses and adding on. So really bring a lot of awareness to the strength we're building in the spine as we travel through these postures. So inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, vertical twist, left arm forward. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, full airplane. Inhale, left arm forward, right arm stays back. Exhale, switch the arms. Right arm forward, left arm back. From here, bend that left leg and start to make your way into dancer pose. So we start to extend long through the spine. And then press that foot into the hand. Kick the foot away. Keep the chest lifted. And from here, full warrior three. Both arms forward. Torso parallel to the earth. Step back, airplane lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Right hand to the floor, left hand up. Two arms in one line. Gaze at the floor, up toward the fingertips. So one long line, one extension from the crown of the head through the tailbone. Keep the chest nice and open. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, low lunge. Peel that left heel off the floor. Step back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, vertical twist, right arm forward. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, cactus, squeeze shoulder blades. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, full airplane. Pause here. Inhale, right arm forward, left arm stays back. Exhale, scissor and switch the arms. Take the right foot with the right hand and start to come into dancer pose. Losing my balance here on this side, a little more challenging. And start to kick the foot into the hand. Keep the chest lifted. Nice and steady through that left leg. And coming into full warrior three. Both arms forward. And release, airplane lunge. A little wobbly there. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Hold here. The head in line with the spine. Left knee is opening toward left pinky toe. Modification is left elbow on left knee. Continue to breathe steady. Keep the chest open. Active through the fingertips for one more inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift forward plank. Lower all the way down. All right, so full bow. I'm going to bend both legs. Take the feet from the outside. Get a nice firm grip. Knees stay in toward one another and press it up and open. Work toward lifting the quads off the floor, opening through chest, throat. And release. Now take both hands out in front and rest the forehead straight down. Legs are nice and loose and relaxed. And let's counter pose with child's. Press it back. And come to a seat, cross over the ankles. All right, so for strong spine, we need a strong core overall. So we're gonna come into boat pose to work the core muscles. So lift the heels off the floor. You can hold to the backs of the thighs, opening through the chest. You can extend the arms forward, palms face up. You can work towards straight legs. Just most importantly, the spine is straight. Okay, so try to avoid any hunching and rounding. Keep the chest nice and open. Hold here. Okay, so we're gonna slowly extend to stretch pose. So start to bring the shoulders and the heels to hover over the floor, and then begin to lift back up to boat. And again, we can use the hands here for support on the backs of the thighs. Keep lowering and lifting, and go at your own pace. A nice strong core. And just 3 more. For 3, 2, now 1, come all the way down, hover, and slowly release to corpse pose. Take some deep breaths into the belly. All right, so draw both heels in toward the hips, feet flat to the floor, knees pointed up toward the ceiling. Arms stretched out long beside the body, palms are gonna face down. Press firmly into the heels, activate through the quads, and then lift the hips off the floor. Keep the knees in line with the hips, in line with the ankles. And so let's start to bring some more awareness to the low back. So we're gonna take bridge pose utilizing the glutes. So go ahead and find firm glutes. So tighten up, lifting the hips higher. Feel your glutes working hard to hold your hips up. And of course, the spine, low back, all those muscles are working as well. Okay, now keep the hips nice and lifted and relax the glutes. So see how relaxed you can get the glutes and notice how that's going to activate the muscles of the low back surrounding the spine. All right, so feel the difference again. Activate the glutes. Nice firm butt. Lift the hips higher. Keep the hips high. Release the glutes, soft glutes. And slowly lower down onto the back. Good. Let's take a hip opener here. So bring that right ankle over the left knee, lift the left foot off the floor, take the hands and interlace the hands around the thigh or the calf, or the shin, I mean. So as we draw the left knee in, press the right knee open. This hip and glute opener. Reclined pigeon pose. And release left foot to the mat. Switch it out, left ankle comes over right knee. Lift that right foot off the floor. Interlace hands around the right thigh or shin. Draw the right knee in, press the left knee open. Feet are active, toes flexed back toward the knees. All right, release right foot to the floor and come back to our starting for our bridge position. So hands alongside the body, palms face down. Press firmly into the heels and lift the hips off the floor again. So start to really steady into the left foot. Place all of your energy into the left leg. Lift that right leg off the floor and start to activate the quad to lift the right foot straight up toward the ceiling, working toward a straight leg. It's okay if it's not straight though. Press firmly into the palms of the hands. And release the right foot to the floor. Keep the hips lifted. Press into the right foot and then start to lift that left leg off the floor. Now activate the left quad and start to straighten through the left leg, reaching the foot straight up toward the ceiling. And release the left foot down to the floor and slowly lower down onto the back again. Okay, we're gonna take a supine twist, a nice release for the back. So bring the arms into goal post and release the knees to the right. You can keep your feet staggered. If that's too much on the low back, then draw the knees together and release the knees together. One may be more comfortable than the other, so make it a comfortable twist. And come back through center. Release the knees to the left. Again, feet will be staggered or stacked. And come back through center. All right, start to roll the length of the spine 3 times. And on our 3rd time, we're gonna come into Malasana, garland pose. So you can use the hands to assist you. Bring the feet wider than hip distance apart. Come into a low squat. Press the knees into, or the elbows into the knees. Bring the hands to the heart. Lower the shoulders away from the ears. So we draw the tailbone down, lift through the crown of the head. Can close the eyes, really tune into the breath. Let's take this into a twist. So bring that right hand to the floor, lift the left arm up. Hold here, or option to bind, half bind or full bind. Find a clasp to the hands, open through the shoulder. And release the clasp, and we'll take it on the other side. So left hand to the floor, lift that right arm up. And stay here, or half bind, right hand to left hip, or full bind, reach for the clasp behind the back, open through the shoulder. And release the clasp, and bring the hands to the floor. We're going to come into Bakasana, or crow pose. So go ahead and start to heel toe the feet in towards center, and then we're going to bring the knees high up on the backs of the arms towards the armpits. Shift forward, look forward past the hands, and start to draw the toes together, heels up and in. Keep the gaze steady, hold here. And release. Walk the feet back, come into downward facing dog. Last exhale here. And shift forward to plank pose. Slowly lower all the way down. And just observe the difference here. So we're going to take 3 cobras. Now we're going to take 3 heights of our cobra. So first bring the fingertips in line with the tops of the shoulders. Draw the elbows in. Press into the tops of the feet and lift up into low cobra and hold here. Okay, take both hands off the floor. Activating through upper back. Well, through the entire back actually. Squeeze the elbows in. Last inhale. And exhale, roll down. Scoot the hands back so they're in line with the ribs. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, come up to mid-lift cobra. So see if we can peel the belly button off the floor. Elbows in, shoulders away from the ears. Be active in the arms. Lifting, using our spinal strength to lift through the crown of the head. One more inhale. And exhale. Scoot the hands back so they're in line with the bottoms of the ribs, and then start to peel up, working all the way towards straight arms. Now we can take a little bit of the weight into the arms, soft elbows though, and just observe the flexibility in the back. So drawing the hips down toward the floor, crown of the head up and toward the sky, soft bend in the elbows, be mindful not to lock them out. Breathe into the belly. And slowly lower down. Good. Press all the way up onto the shins, cross over the ankles, and come to a seat. Okay, we're going to take Paschimottanasana. So rock back and forth on the sitting bones, just to evenly ground down. Really active through the feet. And let's inhale the arms up overhead and reach the hands toward the feet. You can take them to the thighs or the calves, the ankles, or the feet. But we're going to work toward keeping the spine nice and long. So keep the head in line with the spine. And if this means we just go this far, that's fine. So before we find any rounding, we want to keep the spine long. If the knees are bent, that's fine. Just stay one long line. Three more breaths. Let each breath take you a little bit deeper from wherever you are. right? So we're going to find a release in the upper back now. So go ahead and start to round forehead toward the knees. Okay, as we release the forehead toward the knees, keep the gaze steady. So we don't want to wobble the head side to side or look side to side. We just want to find a gentle relaxation in the upper back and neck. Three more breaths here. And then we're going to round up. Nice and slow, stacking one vertebra at a time until we come all the way upright into Dandasana staff pose. So sit up nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears. Hands can rest on the thighs or alongside the hips. Quads are really active, heels lifting up off the mat. So this posture is a great one to practice for our posture and our strength as we open the chest. And so from this position in the torso, we're going to take a twist. So just keep the left leg right as it is. Cross that right foot over the left knee. Foot is going to come flat to the floor, and we keep this long spine. Okay, right hand behind the hip. Reach that left arm straight up overhead and cross the elbow over the left knee. So again, we're only moving from the base of the spine through the crown of the head into a twist. We're not leaning forward or backward. We're not sacrificing the long spine for the depth of the twist. And release. Now come back to a strong Dandasana. Shoulders right over the hips, cross that left foot over the right knee. Foot is going to come flat to the floor. Left hand behind left hip, right arm straight up, and then cross that right elbow over the left knee and twist from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. Start to look out over that left shoulder. And release from the twist. Bend both legs. Take the feet off the floor. Extend the arms long. Okay? And for a count of 10, start to lower down onto the back. So nice and slow for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. So halfway there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Draw the knees into the chest and come into an inversion shoulder stand. So start to lift the hips off of the mat. Hands come to low back, fingers point up, draw the elbows in, and then start to extend the legs straight up. Keep the chest or the chin away from the chest. Spine is nice and long. Cervical spine is nice and long. So the neck is extended and the gaze stays neutral. So we're not twisting in the neck. All right, so as we slowly lower down onto the mat, we're gonna take one vertebra at a time, and then we're gonna start to separate the knees and feet and come into happy baby. So take hold of the calves or the feet as we release through the spine, and then start to draw the tailbone down toward the floor. And see if we can press the low back onto the floor. So working toward a 90-degree angle in the legs and then drawing the quadriceps toward the floor. And then we're going to massage the back by rocking side to side. Gentle, slow movements. We can even extend one leg at a time if that feels good. Come back towards center, hug both knees into the chest. Find a nice tight squeeze and see if we can flatten the entire spine onto the floor. So pressing low back and tailbone down while we squeeze the knees in, shoulders drawing away from the ears and down toward the mat. Big compression in both hips. One final breath here. Apanasana. And release to Shavasana. Nice long legs. Let the feet fall open. Arms are going to rest alongside the body, palms face up. And release the breath with an open mouth exhale if that feels right. And then start to move back to the natural rhythm of the breath. Softening into the jaw and the forehead. And if the mind starts to wander off of the mat, off of your space, out of your body, bring it back just for these last few moments of class, this opportunity to be present in the breath and the body. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do right now in this moment. And slowly start to bring some movement back into the body, starting with fingers and toes, working into the hands, the wrists, the ankles. A nice long stretch, reaching the arms up overhead, stretching from fingertips all the way down through the toes. Big breath in. And slowly roll onto the side. Cradle the head in the arms, draw the knees into the chest. Take this final moment to acknowledge your yoga practice. Thank yourself for making your way to your mat. Set an intention for the rest of your day. And slowly press up to a seat. Find a comfortable seated position. Draw hands to the heart. Take one deep breath in. Let it go through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.